All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. First, community announcement: Sugar Bowl has closed. Those of you guys who attend the Michigan City Conservative Action Group meetings, they will be moving to, at least temporarily, Mimo's Pancake House. Mimos. I don't know. It's an Evergreen Plaza. Every Thursday at 8 a.m., but the main ones are the first Thursday of the month. So I don't know exactly what happened with Sugar Bowl. I have a thing, but essentially a price wasn't agreed upon. There was litigation. It didn't go in favor of the people that would have allowed the group to stay. So they moved. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was we had the Lincoln Day dinner last night, LaPorte County's Lincoln Day dinner. It was held at the Potawatomi Country Club, and it was interesting. It was certainly a unique experience. There were a couple of people there that we had a good time with. Luckily, our table was filled with people that I personally get along with. So it worked out. We got to actually have a table with Elise Nishala, the comptroller of the state of Indiana. She came. She's so nice. Oh my God. Like, I like her. I wasn't sure about her when she ran for, I think, auditor, or I don't know, something, treasurer, auditor, something, treasurer, whatever. I wasn't sure. I didn't know much about her. There was that feeling like maybe, I don't know, but the more time I've gotten to talk to her and spend time around her and look into her, she just seems genuinely kind and nice. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more of her and learning more about her. So we had some silent auction items. So for those of you not familiar with Lincoln Day dinner, it is the number one fundraising event for the party. That's how the most of the money comes in that is then supposed to get candidates elected. Last night we had a good turnout. Big, local names. Everybody pretty much came there. There were a few notable exceptions, people that didn't come. I'm going to talk about something that happened there at the end when I talk about the races. But my my wife was in rare form because someone lied, and they are a congressional candidate. And I was mad, but I wasn't nearly as mad as she was. Holy! But we'll get to that. And you know what? I'm just going to cover it now. So we pull up, right? And there's some backstory here, which I'll get to in a second. But we pull up at the event, and there's a gigantic RV sitting in the parking lot. Now, that's interesting because the individual with their name plastered on the side of this RV was actually specifically told, don't come. But more importantly, they did not buy a ticket to the event. They actually tried to hustle a ticket and tried to throw my wife under the bus as if it was her fault. So we pull up, and like I said, there's some behind the scenes stuff here, but the short version is the guy didn't buy a ticket. He claimed he bought a ticket, but he didn't. I'm talking about Shanky, however you say his damn name. I was going to try and be fair and have everybody on the show and all of that. No, you lied about my wife. Go to hell. I control who comes on my show, and you ain't coming on. We pull up, his RV is parked there. I'm like, that's weird. Woo! You could feel the energy from Liz when she saw it. She's like, what? So we go in, and he's standing there, and he's, again, trying to finagle his way into the dinner. It's not even about the attendance. It's about the fact that he claims he bought a ticket when everyone, look, my wife handled the event right. That's the only thing that she did for the event, but she did set it up online so that people could purchase tickets online. That was the point. She reviewed all of it. She knows who bought tickets. She recognized all the names, sans one who she found out who that was. None of these people were the individual that was there. Again, trying to finagle to get a free ticket. No, absolutely not. And the reason why he was told specifically, do not attend the Lincoln Day, is because when he was invited to the breakfast to speak, District 1 candidates, all three came, all three spoke. The other people talked about mostly what they intended to do, etc. Half of his was an attack on the other two. That I won't get into it. It's irrelevant, but it was in poor form. It was in poor taste. And so he was asked, look, just don't come. Not only did he try to come, okay, fine, but he tried to lie and say that he bought tickets. We ain't having that. So luckily, she was able to, she being my lovely wife, was able to keep her temper mostly in check and politely tell him to suck eggs or, GTFO or whatever. Look, the big event, the big thing at the Lincoln Day dinner was the appearance of a Trump impersonator. A little bit of, you guys don't need the audio. I'm just going to show you. His name is Bob DeBono. If you go on Facebook, Bob DeBono Live, you can see some of his events. You won't be able to hear it. Yeah, this is from the event right here. This is Coral. Hold on. You guys could actually get this. Hang on. Give it a second. Okay, yeah. This is from the event. Here we go.
I'm with a great woman. Her name is Coral, and a tremendous person, smart, talented, and beautiful. And tonight I'm announcing she's going to be my fourth wife. So
that was one of the jokes that he told, and it's all well and good. He did a little local politician roasting, and I don't know if anyone got offended by that. I didn't hear, but the big issue, there were two main real concerns that I heard from other people that were there. The number one was that there were children present. There were a couple of kids that got invited. One was the Congress, Rudy Yakim's child. The other, at least, was Chuck Watterson's daughter. And allegedly, this individual was told to keep it clean because there would be kids there. A bit was too crass. Some felt that other bits were disrespectful. A friend of mine actually got emotional over a particular joke that this guy did. And I'll tell you, it's, the whole I'm the best, president ever. People tell me I'm the best, not, maybe better than Lincoln, because Lincoln didn't get back up when he got shot. So now bear in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is important to remember, the White House press thing hadn't happened yet. The correspondence, that we didn't know anything about that. It hadn't happened yet. So it does predate that. However, my friend got very angry. It said they're trying to kill this man who didn't need to do this. He had plenty of money and could have just enjoyed his bank account, enjoyed life, lived life, but he put everything on the line. And he when he got shot, he stood up and raised his fists in the air and said, "Fight, fight, fight." He was not amused. So he left. He walked out. He didn't make a scene or anything. He didn't try to cancel anybody. He just walked out for a little bit. Not everybody's cup of tea. Like I said, there were some people that were like, yeah, and some of these didn't land. There were some, though, that were genuinely funny. There were a couple that I was amused about, the bits, the jokes. There was a couple that I found funny. But overall, I don't know how it landed. Like I said, bit of a mixed bag. But the Potawatomi Country Club was the location. And the VIP thing, in my opinion, I don't know. It was, I wish there were more chairs, just because I have a foot thing and I can't stand for too long. So that was a lot of my focus, was the foot thing. And the little appetizers were, however, the main event was, there was like a prime rib bar, serving bar, slicer, whatever, and salmon. It was, I can't remember the exact kind of salmon it was, but it was good. The salmon was good. I'm not a huge salmon person, but it was good. The prime rib, I thought, was delicious. That part was really yummy. The chairs were comfy, and it's a big deal for me. The Republican of the Year award at the end of the evening was Evan Wooding. He actually started the Young Republicans Club back because it had been defunct for quite a while. Just to remember, young conservatives, especially young, but conservatives in general, but particularly young conservatives, you are not alone. The media tries to portray that, conservatives are a tiny little group. We're not. It may seem like the loudest voices are anti-Trump or anti-this. You're a Nazi. You're a fascist. Those people are a very vocal, small minority. Conservatives in general aren't trying to be the loudest voice in the room. We're the head down, get it done people. So get involved. The Young Republicans meets, I believe, the first Thursday of every month at headquarters after the precinct meeting. But this month's a little funky because there wasn't supposed to be a precinct meeting. And then I don't know, but you'll have to get with party officials on that. I'm not the official party spokesperson by any means. But I do know that the first Thursday of every month is a big day. Not only do you have the Michigan City Conservative Action Group breakfast in the morning at 8 a.m., but you also have the breakfast is on Saturday, but the precinct meeting and the Young Republicans meeting, and then all right, I had to check my notes, but second Saturday of every month is the 463 GOP. So at least it's not on Thursday. So let's talk about the races on the ballot. First of all, prosecutor. That's going to be a really big one. LaPorte County prosecutor. Look, guys, I reached out to the incumbent a couple of times. They didn't bother to answer me, so I'm just going to lay it out. Watterson is, in my opinion, an excellent candidate for this office. He essentially ran the office for several years, and there was a plan in place for the incumbent to run for judge or be appointed as judge or frickin' something. I don't know. But the plan was for Chuck Watterson to just step in. Somehow the plan changed, and Chuck had invested all this time and energy and money into getting ready for a campaign. So when he was approached and said, hey, just, put that on hold, he's like, no, I got everything lined up for this. Well, of course, the incumbent got mad and fired him as a result. Now, I talked to several people who are in charge, right, of various offices. And I asked them, if your chief deputy or your second in command filed to run against you, would you terminate them? And the general consensus was, yes, I would. I would have to, because if they're attempting to run against me, then it shows that even my own people don't believe I'm doing a good job. So, yes, the termination, but it was just shitty, man. It just was. And there are a lot of things going on behind the scenes with that. The incumbent made a ton of promises to people that he didn't keep. He told people things were going to happen that never happened. So it is what it is. So the next race, state rep, District 20, you guys know, I talked about it before. I like Jim as a person, the incumbent. He seems to be a great family man. Certainly dotes on his grandkids, which is actually really, really cute to see, And he's always answered my questions. He's generally active at party things where he comes and he informs people what's going on. So newcomer, Joe Haney's wife, Juanita Haney, is running for District 20. I don't know, man. We'll have to see. There are a lot of pissed off people. That I do know. I hear from people constantly that are angry about NIPSCO and blame the incumbent. Like I said, I disagree with some of the votes that he's done, and I like Juanita personally, so it's hard to say. It's going to be an interesting primary. Just remember, though, everybody try to remember. I know it's hard. Like, I know when somebody files to run against you, it feels like a personal thing. But I think that there's a difference, and we're going to get into this in just a second. I had a nice long talk with Senator Mike Bohacek, and he actually made some really good, valid points that I found very interesting. I'm going to share them with you in just a moment. But the idea that just because someone runs against you is a personal attack, I think we need to get away from that. And that's a holdover, and not going to change anybody's mind by saying, don't do that, or don't think that, or don't say that. But it's just a job, guys. It's a job interview. It's a job evaluation. Every election is a job evaluation. Are you doing the job, or do you need to be replaced with someone who I think, I being the voter, will do a better job than you? That's all. But some people take it extremely personally. So I'm going to, before I get deep into the next races, I'm going to share some of the conversation that I had with Senator Bohacek, who I haven't spoken to him all that much. We've been at various events. We've talked, here and there a little, but I don't know him that well. But he had made some remarks at the breakfast that I wanted to dive more into. I wanted to see which direction he was coming from on it. And essentially, he said, basically, don't attack each other, right? The whole Reagan, the 11th commandment, don't speak ill of a fellow Republican. And I agree that you should not personally attack someone. This person's this person's that. But going after someone's record, I believe, is perfectly okay. And he agreed. The part that he had an issue with was when you go and you say, for example, the entire legislature is failing. Well, we're a supermajority state. You're hurting your party by saying that. And it kind of ties into the whole, are you a MAGA Republican or are you a traditional Republican? And it really shows, I guess, where the loyalty lies. I want to be very clear. I am not loyal to the party. I am loyal to the party ideals, right? I believe in the platform laid out. I believe in conservative values. I believe in family, faith. These are the things that I believe in. But the party is controlled by people. There are people And as people, we're fallible. But it goes down to that whole the redistricting, right? Trump's White House is actively trying to, the word interfere was used, but I don't know if I'd say interfere, but I mean, I guess you could, with Senate elections, insofar as endorsing and pouring money into candidates that are challenging those that voted no on redistricting. And Mike brought up some good points. Number one, they are representing their district, right? They may not come from a deep red district. It may be a purple district. If this person had voted, then they would have lost them. You know, if they had voted for redistricting, for example, they would have lost the next election. But more importantly, are these people there to represent Trump's will, or are they there to represent the will of Indiana voters? Now, you or I can feel however we do about redistricting and whether that should or shouldn't have happened. But the people were pretty vocal about the issue. And in general, the senators that voted no heard from the people of their district on the matter and voted accordingly. Now, and the map sucked. I mean, it just, the redistricting map was awful. But Senator Bohacek made a statement that I actually, I directly asked him, hey, can I quote you on that? And he's like, you can quote me on the whole damn thing. I don't care. But the quote is, there is a difference between loyalty and fealty. And it resonated with me because Trump's human. He makes mistakes, guys. I know some of you believe that, you know, he can't possibly ever do anything wrong or say anything wrong, and that's fine. You're entitled to believe that. But he's a human being, and humans inherently have flaws. And the issue here with this whole redistricting thing isn't even that it failed. It's that it almost seems vengeful to go after those who voted against it. Now, I will agree that if the people of the district get together and said, hey, they didn't represent me properly and I want someone else, by all means, that's what primaries are for, right? But to pour all this money, and dude, there's some wild stuff going on. There's allegedly the White House is calling people to ask them to drop out and all of this. It's a lot. It's a lot. And regardless of how you feel about who's in the White House, here in Indiana, we're a little bit removed from that DC lifestyle. And I kind of want to keep it that way. Do we want a sitting president interfering in state elections, meddling, getting involved? You can call it whatever you want. On the one hand, people have said, you know, I voted for Trump for a reason, and part of it is to clean up my local legislature. Other people that I've talked to have said, no, he needs to stay out of Indiana politics. How much does a Trump endorsement, weight-wise, how much does it carry with you? Is it something that you're going to change your mind on? If you've already looked at a candidate and said, you know, I don't know if I can support this person, and Trump sends out an endorsement of that person, does that change your mind? The general consensus that I've found from talking to people is if it's for a federal position, then yeah, I'll listen to what Trump has to say if they endorse a person, because I want them to get done federally what I expect. I want them to move the Trump agenda forward, the MAGA movement, whatever. On a local level, not so much. It carries much less weight. And if I try to be educated about candidates, et cetera, et cetera. How do you feel? Does it matter to you? Me personally, I used to give a huge amount of weight to Trump endorsements back first term, even. If Trump endorsed somebody, okay, bet. There's so many now. Like there's so many. I've heard some rumors, but I can't confirm anything. So what I do know is that there are a lot, and some of them have worked out not so well. Some of his endorsements have, frankly, turned out kind of less than stellar. I mean, the Dr. Oz, really? I mean, anyway, of all the people that were in that race, that was certainly not one that I saw getting the stamp of DJT approval. Now, there are those of you that may say, well, there's stuff going on behind the scenes and the president has, access to more information than we do, and they know more about these people than we do. That's possible. That is possible. However, we've also seen him endorse people that don't really advance the agenda. So I don't know. Didn't he endorse like Lindsey Graham and there have been a few that were just abjectly like, really? But what do you? So we'll see. We'll see how much weight it has come the primary, but more importantly, we will see if these Senate races in particular are flipped or what happens with that. I do understand that there are some very angry people. And look, guys, we see what's happening in Virginia and other states. The Democrats are going to do it. The whole, this person did it first or this party did it first. This crap goes way, way, way back. I was ultimately not in favor of the map that they showed for redistricting. But otherwise, moving on. The next race that's a big deal is County Council District 4, and that is Jimmy Pressel III, state rep. Jim Pressel's he's a junior, by the way. That's his son, the county councilman Jimmy Pressel. It's Jimmy and Jim, but I realize it's versus Tim Stabos. I realize it's Jimmy versus Timmy, and how I missed that before is beyond me. I don't know that much about Jim Pressel III. I just don't. I've seen him at council meetings. I've seen him give his opinion on things. I know, guys, if you paid any attention, I know Tim Stabos can be a very polarizing person. He gets very passionate when he believes he's right, and it can put some people off. I get that. That said, the man knows numbers. He really does, and he knows budgets, and he knows he knows predictions. He's very number inclined, right? I would like to see that applied to what I believe is a financial crisis that we're staring down the barrel of. Guys, LaPorte County's in trouble financially. We'll get to that, but it's going to be an interesting race. There was the primary, if you guys remember, the caucus to fill the seat, and that was close. So the primary should be interesting. Now, for probably I can't even say the biggest because they're all really big deals. They all affect a lot of people and a lot of things. But the county commissioner race, Gramarossa versus Slaybaugh. So let's talk about the consequences of county. First of all, I'm just going to go ahead and address this lawsuit. Connie never forgave me or my wife for daring to not get her permission to run for commissioner. Look, Connie won the primary. congratulations. We thought it was over. As a matter of fact, my wife actually jumped in and helped her after the primary. She shared posts. She worked events. She put signs out for her, messed her brand new car up with signs for Connie. You know, the thing a primary candidate is supposed to do when they lose, at least according to the rules of etiquette. Was it over? Oh, no, not even close. Connie proceeds, by the way, after she got elected and they're picking board positions, she proceeds to tell Commissioner Haney that Liz and I will never be on any boards or do anything in this county as long as she's in power. Again, it wasn't us that started this stupid feud or split or factions or whatever you want to call it. It was her and her little crew. She spread vile, vicious lies about me and my wife. I don't give a shit what you say about me. I don't care. I do a public show, for Christ's sake. I couldn't care less what you say about me. But you do not spread lies about my wife. Period. That was unacceptable, and I quickly learned and realized what kind of person she really is. She has left a trail of burned bridges in her wake. Most of the LaPorte County Republican leadership is people that used to consider her a friend, until she stabbed him in the back and occasionally, sometimes right in the heart while smiling. Al Stevens, the chairman, was fired from the highway department. Why? Because she got mad at him, partly because they refused to fire me. Why did she want to fire me? Well, aside from the perceived slights, there's the county car incident. There are some important aspects to consider here. Number one, she took the car without permission, period. You're supposed to have permission to take it out of the county. She did not. Now, the claim is, oh, her kid was in the hospital. Moms know. And look, her kid is an adult. He hadn't been rushed by ambulance. He hadn't been in an emergency situation. He'd been there for days already beforehand. How do I know? Because she had posted it on Facebook back when she used to actually post stuff. You know, she was all over the social media until she got elected. I happened to share the post that Joe Haney had posted, telling the county what the heck had happened. And we had a discussion at the party meeting, the precinct meeting, about what we, as the Republican Party of LaPorte County, wanted to do about it. Because it wasn't a good look. It wasn't just that there was an accident. It was an attempted cover-up. There was a forgery charge, claim, whatever. And you guys, if you haven't read the reports, do so. You haven't read the prosecutor report, do so. Look, she has her supporters. I get that and I understand that. But you guys need to understand that Gramarossa isn't being targeted because she's a woman or because she's this race or that person or this whatever. It's because she's a petty, vindictive, angry person that seems to make it her mission to aggressively punish anyone that doesn't immediately bow to her. Yeah, the last race, it was racism. I am not against Connie because she won an election. I am now against her because she chose to abuse the power of her position and target people that disagree with her. Guys, go to truthaboutconnie.com. You can see all of the facts laid out for you right there. It's not my website. I didn't share it. Create it. I'll share the hell out of it. I didn't create it, but it's facts. All of it's facts. Again, truthaboutconnie.com. Go there, learn it. But either way, one way or another, get out there and vote in this primary or stop complaining. Stop complaining about all these various things between NIPSCO costs, data centers. Look, people that control that stuff are up for election. That's all I'm going to say. Choose who you want, who you align with, who values align with, and choose that person to represent you. It's that simple. Look, guys, as far as the lawsuit goes, I told her attorney, I told her, and by the way, remember, guys, back when she ran, the entire point was getting rid of Shaw Friedman. He was the attorney for the commissioners, and people didn't want that anymore. So she said she'd get rid of him. She got elected, and publicly he's gone. But it's interesting how all this work keeps getting farmed to him, including this lawsuit. During the negotiation phase, we were negotiating with Shaw Friedman on behalf of the county of LaPorte and the people named in the lawsuit. What? Yeah, absolutely. And I told them, guys, I don't care about the money. I don't care. I said I dropped the whole thing for a public apology. Done. Acknowledge that you screwed up, quit doing it, and let's move forward. Of course not. Of course not. And that's because that's what she's all about. That's why I don't support her. It isn't because any of the other stuff. We helped get her elected. I worked for her. My wife worked for her. Once she won the primary, we got out there and we helped, because that's what you do. That's why my wife is now a party officer, because she sucked it up and she got to work and she joined the team. And it sucked. Oh my God, it was awful. But that's what you do. That's what you do. And she did. And now she's the party secretary. She's the secretary of the 463 GOP. She's got a governor's appointment to a commission. She's a commissioner. I mean, it's not, like, but it's important. I forget the acronym for it. I said it before, but I'd have to bring it up and look at it to read it.
Indiana Protection and Advocacy Services.
It's Indiana Protection and Advocacy Services. So IPAS, it passed something like that. Anyway, point is, she's on this commission because she's a team player, not because she does what the party tells her. Sometimes she does want to say a lot more than she does, but that's my job. Now she is a good person that joined the team, and what did she get for it? Scratched up car, stabbed in the back, her husband fired. It's horseshit. And that's why I don't support her. And that's why, look, guys, I don't pretend that Jody is perfect. Not for a minute. I don't know about the whole Google reviews of the business and all this crap going on and all that. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. It's been years since I actually had them fix anything for me, but I have known Jody since I was in my 20s, probably. So a long ass time. Talked about it before when he used to be in Marquette Mall. I don't know anything about that as far as the business. How good they seem very busy. I'll say that. As far as work. So that's generally a good sign as someone's doing something. I've seen people post online saying, I'm a satisfied customer and I have every intention of returning. So I will say a lot of stuff gets spread around the last week or two before primary. I mean, all kinds of crap comes out of the woodwork. I'm just giving you guys the facts. Some of the lawsuit information is actually included in that website about Connie. By all means, take your time, digest it, learn who this person is. That's really what it comes down to. I don't think Jody's the Messiah. I don't think he's perfect. But if he doesn't do the job we elect him to, he will be a hell of a lot easier to get rid of in 4 years than Connie will be if she wins again. Just that simple. So the judge race. Now, let's talk about that. Guys, I'm going to tell you, I had both Kurt Ernst and Guy DiMartino onto my show. You guys, if you haven't seen the interviews, by all means, go check it out. Guy's personal history with the county makes me leery. He's had a lot of interaction with Shaw. He's had a lot of interaction with Connie. My understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is he's still communicating with Connie every single day. So that bothers the hell out of me, and I can't support that. Kurt has spent his life devoted to doing service to others. That's who I want as a judge. Boys and Girls Club, volunteer fire department. He's the chief now of Long Beach, I believe. Volunteer fire department. That's the kind of person that I believe should be a judge in the community. And when you ask each of them, right, wanting to be a judge and kind of how they foresee things, Guy consistently says that he's going to be fair and apply the law fairly. Well, that's good because that's the bare ass minimum for being a judge. Kurt, on the other hand, has talked about setting up the Veterans Court, love of community, love of service. These are things that I personally look for. Your mileage may vary, and by all means, guys, vote for the person that you believe is going to do the best job. In my mind, that's Kurt Ernst. Some of the people that are out there, I won't say endorsing, but sharing DiMartino are concerning. It's the same concerns that I had with people palling around with certain individuals that I don't think are good for this county. And maybe some of you feel that that's me, and that's okay. You're entitled to feel that way, but I'm a voice and I'm going to say what I believe. That's one of the things that I try to stand by is I'm going to tell you the information that I have, and I'm going to correct myself if I'm wrong. So at least I have that degree of integrity, unlike some. So guys, please, I cannot stress this enough. Please vote. And I do want to touch on an election board meeting. So there were people, I guess, that are calling up Taylor at the election board office or clerk's office, or I don't know. Taylor basically works at the clerk's office and is responsible for a lot of the election stuff. She's the one who shares the times and where the mobile voting unit's going to be and all of this stuff. Very super nice, highly efficient. People are calling and screaming because the campaign finance reports were not updated at 12:01 p.m. because they were due by noon. Guys, give her a minute. Give her a minute. It takes a little bit. They explained it at the election board meeting that they have to scan it. They have to check for errors. They got to redact anything that should be redacted, especially on certain judges' finance forms. There are certain things that have to be processed before they're able to just share it out there. Calm your ass down. For real. Whoever is out there calling and screaming at these people, relax. Okay? Take a breath. Give it a little while. A couple hours isn't going to change anything. Calm down. So that's my I guess message for the day, I suppose, is relax, man. Chill. But seriously, you shouldn't be calling and screaming at anybody over finance reports. They can't make this stuff go any faster. They're going to do the best they can. And as always, guys, county government is under, well, not in LaPorte County, but in general, is understaffed for certain positions. I could go on into that. Certainly the auditor's office has plenty of people, but that aside, if you know, you know. Please vote. Please get out there and vote. Overall, I think the Lincoln Day was in general a success. I don't know the financial aspect of it. I don't know how successful it was in that regard, but the impersonator kind of rubbed some people the wrong way, but overall seemed to be positively received. If you guys missed it, I'm sure there are going to be videos that are going to be posted. I decided, so listen, I thought about taking my little setup and doing a video from there and kind of showing you guys and all of that. I decided not to do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, because I didn't really want to. I didn't feel like it's a fundraiser, right? That's the entire point of it. Is to generate funds for the party, and I wasn't going to try to upstage that by making it about me and my show, right? Number two, there's a lot of crap to haul around. And even if I just take my phone, then I'm focused on trying to record stuff instead of focusing on enjoying the event that I paid to attend. So I decided to go with enjoying the event that I paid to attend. And I'm glad that I did that because I had some really good conversations with some people, including, as stated before, the comptroller of the state, some good friends of ours that attended the event. Overall, I had a good time. Overall, I believe my wife had a good time. The drinks were weak at the VIP, very, very weak. But we did win a couple of the open bar part, just so you know, not and I know that's kind of how it is with an open bar, but I mean, like, anyway, we won a couple of the auction items. One is really cool. I'm going to take a picture of it for you guys. It's like a little statue that has a lantern. It's like Lady Liberty dressed in the red, white, and blue. It's cool. I like it. I haven't decided yet exactly where I'm going to put it, but when I do, I'll let you know. And then a plate of cookies and some other. There's like a whole plate full of goodies, right? And we won that, and I promptly tore into it because I have no self-control and I'm bad. I'm very bad. So it is what it is. We all have our struggles. Sometimes that's mine. But on the upside, the weather hopefully will be changing for the better here. We've had a couple of really nice days, but then we'll get several days of rain. So I haven't really been able to take my bike out as much as I wanted, but I finally got it out of Harley Purgatory, which I'll cover in another video. But that is all for this evening. I appreciate your time. Thank you. And pay attention because I'm trying to squeeze in a couple of more really important interviews before the primary actually gets here. We'll see if we're able to do that. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. God bless Indiana. And God bless the United States of America. And God bless President Trump and the administration. Some of you guys may not like him. Some of you may hate him. But at no point should anyone be celebrating or encouraging violence. Stop it. That's it for tonight. We'll see you again soon. Good night.